You are not born to shrink back, to hesitate, or to settle for a life of mediocrity. Within you is a creative power so vast, so luminous, so full of divine authority, that it waits only for your permission to act. Most live as though they are victims of fate, tossed by the winds of circumstance, never realizing they are the wind itself. The truth is simple. Imagination is not something passive or decorative. It is causative. What you dare to assume as true in your inner world will solidify in your outer world. So the command is this: act as if you are going to build an empire. Begin not by gathering bricks or calling architects, but by laying the cornerstone in your mind. That which you feel yourself to be, you become. Assume the mood of empire, not arrogance, not boastfulness, but the quiet, resolute knowing that you are the architect of destiny. Let your inner speech align with the grandeur of your vision. Let your every thought, gesture, and breath testify to the truth that you are in the process of manifesting something eternal. Do not wait for evidence before you believe. The evidence will always lag behind the assumption. It is your assumption that brings forth the evidence, never the reverse. To wait for things to look right before you feel right is to forever live in bondage. But to feel right before things appear right, that is the secret of dominion. Your imagination is the blueprint, and your feeling is the mortar. What you feel as real becomes real. You are not meant to be one of the many who wander through life asking what they can get. You are meant to be among the few who dare to ask what they can give. An empire is not built by chance, nor by luck, nor by the hand of another. It is built by consciousness, sustained by faith, and governed by vision. If you would build an empire, then you must think as its builder, walk as its builder, and sleep each night as one who already owns the keys to its gates. All that you need is already within you. Do not look to the world to give you permission. Do not wait for support, applause, or agreement. What the world sees is but the echo of what you dared to see within yourself. You must act as if you are already the person who has accomplished it all. Not someday, not when the money comes, not when the connections appear, but now, in this very moment. Claim it as yours, claim the identity, claim the result, claim the victory. It is yours by divine right, if you will but possess it inwardly. When you close your eyes at night, do not drift into sleep as a beggar of fate, but as a king of consciousness. Go to sleep in the feeling of the wish fulfilled. Imagine the empire already standing. See the buildings. Hear the sounds, smell the scent of success in the air, walk through the halls in your mind, shake the hands of those who helped you build it. Celebrate its birth before it comes to pass. What you do in imagination is far more important than what you do in the world, for the world is the picturing of your inner activity. Let no one dissuade you with facts. Let no one discourage you with reason. Reason is the servant of what already exists. Imagination is the womb of what is to come. If you would build something that has never been seen, then you must think thoughts that have never been thought. You must become unreasonable in your faith, unstoppable in your vision, and unshakable in your assumption. If you find yourself in doubt, do not resist it with effort. Simply return to the vision. Rehearse it again in your mind. Not with strain, but with ease. The effortless act of inner acceptance is far more powerful than outer striving. To believe that you must force your dream into reality is to believe in the weakness of God within you. But to accept the dream as already accomplished, to live and move and have your being in that conviction, that is the true act of creation. Do not concern yourself with how it will happen. The how is not your responsibility. The bridge of incidents will appear, and you will walk across it without effort. All that is required of you is to persist in the assumption. Your only task is to remain faithful to the state of consciousness that matches your desire. Let the world arrange itself around your belief. Others may see you and say, "Who does he think he is?" Let them. Your answer, spoken silently within, must always be this: "I am who I assume myself to be." And you assume yourself to be the builder of an empire, a vessel of divine imagination, a channel through which the infinite reveals itself. If you act like one who is building something sacred and grand, your actions will naturally rise to meet your assumption. You will speak with purpose. You will walk with clarity. You will think with intention. The trivial will fall away. The distractions will dissolve. The world will begin to rearrange itself around your vision, for it must. It always does. You will begin to attract opportunities that match your assumption. People, resources, and circumstances will align not because you chased them, but because you became the magnet. You became the frequency of your fulfilled desire. The world responds not to effort, but to resonance, and you resonate with what you assume as real. To act as if you are building an empire means that you live every day with an inner certainty, even when the outer shows nothing, even when the bank account is empty, even when the world mocks you, for that is the test. Will you believe when there is nothing to confirm it? Will you persist in the assumption when all physical evidence denies it? That is the furnace where the gold is refined. That is where your empire is truly born. Others may chase results. You do not chase, you embody. You do not run after success. You dwell in the state where success already lives. You do not pray for it, you assume it. You do not beg for doors to open. You walk as if they are already open, and they open before you. There is no power outside of you. The world is a mirror reflecting back the substance of your inner state. If you feel lack, it reflects lack. If you feel abundance, it reflects abundance. If you act as if you are poor, forgotten, insignificant, then that becomes your reality. But if you act as if you are appointed, chosen, empowered, then the world must bend to that belief. Do not confuse acting as if with pretending. Pretending is weak, filled with doubt and hoping. Acting as if is a full acceptance, a knowing that what you see in your mind is more real than what you see with your eyes. You no longer hope to become. You live as one who already is, speak differently, think differently, carry yourself differently, not to impress others, but to impress upon your own consciousness the reality of your dream. Your world is clay, your mind is the sculptor, and your imagination is the hand that shapes all things. You have permission to be bold. You have divine license to assume greatness. You are not dishonoring anyone by choosing expansion. You are honoring the source within you by allowing it to flow freely. Stop apologizing for your dreams. Stop shrinking for the comfort of others. If your empire makes others uncomfortable, let it. Your light is not too bright. It is just right for the world you are meant to build. When you walk into a room, bring your vision with you. When you speak, let it be from the place of the accomplished goal. When you make decisions, do so not from fear or desperation, but from confidence that the outcome is already secure. That which you accept inwardly will crystallize outwardly, and what you reject internally will be denied expression. There is no power in waiting. Waiting is not faith. Waiting is doubt wearing a mask. Faith moves, faith claims, faith occupies. So occupy the land of your desire in your imagination. Take up residence in the house not yet built. Drive the car not yet delivered. Shake the hands of those not yet met. It is all already done in the mind of God. Your job is to align with that truth and let the evidence follow. Every moment you live in the feeling of the accomplished dream, you lay another brick in the foundation of your empire. Every time you resist the urge to worry, complain, or fear, you reinforce the walls of that empire. Every time you return to your vision instead of your problem, you build. Even in rest, you build, for your assumption works even while you sleep. Others may say it's foolish, irresponsible, unrealistic, but they do not know what you know. They do not know the truth that thought is the seed of reality, and feeling is the water that makes it grow. They do not know that imagination is prophecy, but you do, and that is enough. So act as if you are going to build an empire, not because it flatters your ego, but because it glorifies the creative power within you. Not because you need validation, but because you already possess the kingdom. Not because you seek to escape your current life, but because you are ready to reveal its hidden splendor. The kingdom is within you. The empire is within you, and your imagination is the map to its gates. Walk as if you belong there, because you do. Live as if it is already done, because in truth it is. Every true empire ever built in the world of men was first constructed in the invisible realm of thought and belief. The world that appears solid, immovable, and external is but a reflection of what was once invisible, birthed quietly in the chambers of a mind that dared to assume its authority. So if you are to act as if you are building an empire, let that act begin not with outer motion, but with inner stillness. For in that stillness you will hear the whisper of the infinite reminding you, all that you seek is already yours, if you dare to believe. Do not despise the day of small beginnings, for the smallest act of assumption is pregnant with eternity. To sit quietly, to close your eyes, and to feel the warmth of future greatness wrapping around you like a royal garment. This is no childish fantasy. This is the divine creative act. This is the sacred transaction between the seen and the unseen. Those who look on the outside and measure your potential by your current condition know nothing of the laws that govern reality. They are blind to the power that pulses through your every breath, the same power that carved valleys and raised mountains. As you go about your day, carry yourself as one who has already arrived. When you speak, let your voice carry the tone of fulfillment. When you walk, let your stride declare sovereignty, not as performance, not as pride, but as participation in a truth greater than the visible. You are not acting to impress. You are acting to externalize the internal knowing that your empire is not coming, it is unfolding. And because you know this, you treat the present not as an obstacle, but as a passageway. Every moment is your servant, every encounter a divine appointment. The people you meet, the decisions you face, the challenges that test your resolve, all are part of the unfolding story. There is no wasted step, no coincidence, no delay. Everything you assume to be part of your empire will be drawn into your world, sometimes subtly, sometimes swiftly, but always surely. The world bends to the image held steadily in the mind of faith. You must live with vision, not the kind of vision that simply sees with the eyes, but the kind that sees with the soul. Vision is not about what is, it is about what is becoming, and what is becoming has already begun within you. You do not see it yet, not because it is not real, but because it is still in the realm of the unseen, waiting for your continued belief to bring it into form. You do not build an empire by reacting. You build by choosing. You choose your mood, you choose your words, you choose your focus, you choose your state of consciousness moment by moment. You become intentional about what you accept as true. The empire builder does not casually entertain every thought that comes. He disciplines the inner world. He prunes away doubt, fear, and smallness like a gardener tending a sacred tree. If the tree of your empire is to grow, you must guard its roots, your beliefs, with unwavering care. Others will come and speak against your vision. Let them. Others will doubt, question, and mock. Do not fight them. Do not explain. Simply return to your inner world and water the seed with faith. Your inner world is the only world that truly matters, for it contains the blueprint of all things. Imagine the empire not as a destination, but as a reality already here. Let your imagination become so saturated with the picture of its fulfillment that you begin to forget what it means to lack, forget what it means to doubt. Let that old version of yourself, the one who waited, the one who begged, the one who feared, fade away. There is no place for him in the new world you are building. You are not asking for something that does not belong to you. You are claiming what was always yours. It was only waiting for you to awaken to it. The moment you stop identifying as someone trying to achieve something and begin identifying as someone who has already become what they desire, the shift occurs. Life does not respond to effort alone. It responds to identity. So act as if not only your dream is true, but that you are already the person who owns, manages, sustains, and multiplies that dream. Feel what it feels like to carry that level of responsibility, to hold that level of influence, to live in that level of alignment. Do not wait until the evidence shows up to adjust your posture. Adjust your posture now, and the evidence will arrive in due time. Live with the expectancy of one who knows the seed has already been planted. No farmer digs up the ground every hour to see if the seed is working. He waters it, protects it, and waits with peace. Do the same with your inner assumptions. You need not force their growth. You need only persist with confidence. The law is certain. The seed must bear fruit after its kind. The circumstances of your life may look the same for a while. Do not be deceived. The shift begins within, and the world takes time to catch up, but it always does. If you hold fast to the end, if you do not grow weary in the waiting, you will see it, and not only will you see it, you will live in it. You will breathe the air of your own creation. You will sit in the palace you once saw only in dream. The world may call it coincidence. It may call it luck, timing, strategy, but you will know. You will know that long before the world saw your empire, you walked its halls in your mind. You will know that while others hustled to force results, you quietly communed with the unseen and let the law bring it to pass. You will know that the outer was merely a shadow of the inner, and once you know this, you will never again fear circumstances. You will never again bow to what seems impossible. You will know that impossibility is only the illusion cast by an old belief system. You will know that everything is pliable, that reality is soft clay in the hands of imagination. And you will move through the world not with arrogance but with quiet dominion. Let every challenge become fuel, let every delay deepen your faith, let every obstacle push you further inward where the true work is done. For when you dwell in the state of the fulfilled desire, when you refuse to leave it, even for a moment, you become invincible, not because of might or wealth or power, but because you have harmonized with the creative intelligence that governs all things. You are not building merely for yourself. Your empire will bless others. Your vision will create jobs, homes, art, inspiration, safety, purpose, legacy. You were given this dream not to hoard, but to radiate. So act as if you are building something sacred, because you are. And as you do, the people who are meant to help you will come. The doors will open. The resources will flow. The steps will appear one at a time, as you keep walking in the certainty of your calling. Do not concern yourself with timelines. Time is of the world. Imagination is of eternity. What takes others decades can take you months, even moments, when you align with the principle of assumption. You are not subject to the rules of limitation. You are subject only to what you consistently assume to be true. And once you truly grasp that, nothing can ever be the same. You were not born to play small. You were not placed here to mimic the beliefs of those who have forgotten who they are. You are a divine creator. You are the image and likeness of the infinite, and you have been given the sacred task of revealing that image through the life you build. So build boldly, assume powerfully, persist faithfully. Your empire is not separate from you. It is you made visible, made touchable, made real. Every wall, every floor, every opportunity and open door, it is all a reflection of your inner state. So cultivate that state with love, protect it with intention, expand it with joy, and above all, live in it now, for the now is the only doorway to eternity. Act as if you are going to build an empire, and soon the world will act accordingly. Do not be surprised when the world begins to shift around you. It is only responding to the new vibration you have chosen to embody. The empire you are building was always waiting for you to recognize it, to believe in it with such unwavering conviction that the illusion of lack could no longer hold. The soil of your reality has no choice but to yield to the seed of your persistent assumption. That which you hold in your mind with feeling becomes magnetized, and all things, people, places, events, are drawn into orbit around it. You are not begging the world to give you anything. You are declaring what is yours by right of consciousness. Every time you assume the feeling of being the empire builder, every time you walk with that knowing, you reinforce the pattern. You etch it more deeply into the fabric of your existence, and soon that pattern becomes your default state. You wake up feeling it, you go to sleep embodying it. It becomes more real than the world that once told you it was impossible. That is when the miraculous unfolds. That is when mountains move and paths clear. Those who observe from the outside may say you're lucky, that the timing was perfect, or the opportunity just happened to find you. Let them speak. You need no validation from the world, for you have already received validation from the source of all things, your own inner knowing. It is not their job to understand. It is your job to remain faithful to the vision. Even when nothing seems to be happening, even when results delay, even when fear whispers lies, you hold the line, you dwell in the state. You breathe it in, live it out, and let it lead. The act of building your empire is not separate from the act of being it. The one who creates and the creation itself are one. When you fully assume that identity, you are no longer chasing. It is already done. The world must catch up to the you that you have already become, and it will, in ways that surprise you, through people you didn't expect, through doors that seemed closed, because nothing can resist the one who walks in the assumption of fulfilled destiny. Everything must bow to the one who refuses to let go of the vision. Everything must bend to the will of the one who knows it is already so. And so, if you are to build an empire, build it first in the unseen. Let every step you take be born from the conviction that it is already yours. Walk not as a seeker, but as a possessor. Speak not as one who hopes, but as one who knows. Assume the feeling, live in the state, and persist without wavering. The world cannot help but mirror the truth you carry within. Your empire is not ahead of you. It is within you, waiting to be claimed, revealed, and made manifest through your unwavering assumption of its reality. Live now as the one who has already built it, and it will surely come to pass. Everything that you behold, though it appears without, it is within, in your imagination, of which this world of mortality is but a shadow. There is no outside force bestowing things upon you from afar. The hand of God is not in the sky, nor in a distant land. It is within you, and when God is about to deliver something grand, when the invisible is about to clothe itself in the visible, you will feel it before you ever see it. You may not recognize it at first. It comes not with thunder nor with the sound of trumpets. It often arrives in a whisper, in a subtle shift of your inner world. Something begins to change, not in your outer circumstance, but in the silence of your own being. It is a change in feeling, in knowing. A quiet certainty dawns in your heart, long before the thing itself appears. When God is about to bring something big into your life, your dreams intensify. Not the ones that come when your head rests on a pillow, but the dreams of your soul. The longings you tried to suppress, the desires you once thought too grand to entertain, they begin to burn again. You feel them stirring, rising from the depths, and this time you do not resist them, you welcome them. You do not question whether you are worthy or capable. You simply allow them to live inside you. It is then that a strange thing occurs. The external world may appear unchanged. In fact, it may seem to move in opposition to your desires. But inwardly there is peace. You no longer feel that restless craving that once accompanied your wanting. Instead, you live as though the thing were already yours. You walk through the world differently, not with arrogance, but with assurance. You cease pleading with God and begin communing with him. For God speaks in desire. Every true desire is a message from the divine. It is not a mistake. It is not random. It is a calling, a beckoning from the unseen to the seen. The bigger the desire, the more sacred the task. And when something grand is about to come into your life, the desire for it will no longer torment you. It will uplift you. You will no longer beg for it. You will assume it. You will clothe yourself in its reality and walk as one who already possesses it. This assumption is not pretense. It is not make-believe. It is the secret act of creation. When you assume the feeling of your wish fulfilled, you align with the law of your being. You harmonize with the frequency of the thing desired. It is in this assumption that the unseen takes form. Faith is not merely believing in what you cannot see. It is the creative act of feeling it into being. And so, before the great thing appears, you begin to see through different eyes. You may look upon the same streets, the same faces, the same conditions, but something is different. They no longer dictate your mood. They no longer have dominion over your state. You have been moved inwardly. Your soul has shifted. You are no longer where you were. The old version of you begins to fade. It is no longer believable. The story you once told about yourself, about your limits, your struggles, your lack, it no longer fits. You grow uncomfortable in it, like clothes too small for your expanding frame. And in that discomfort, in that stretching, is the sign that something big is being born. God does not give you a new world by changing the outer. He gives you a new self, and through that self, the world must change. When something magnificent is on its way, you begin to identify with it now. You see yourself with it, as it, in it. And as you persist in this identity, the outer must conform. You may notice that people react to you differently. Doors you never knocked on begin to open, or perhaps the door slams shut in one area, only to push you through a better one you would not have considered. Even the seeming rejections, the delays, the denials, they are signs too. For when something big is coming, the universe clears the way, and sometimes that clearing feels like loss, but it is not loss, it is pruning, it is refinement, it is God saying, make room. You may find yourself alone during this time, not in punishment, but in preparation. The silence is sacred. The solitude is not emptiness, it is incubation. God hides his greatest works in stillness. So if your life seems quiet, if nothing seems to be moving, if you have been led away from the crowd and into the desert, rejoice. For you are being made ready, and though you may not yet see the thing you desire with your physical eyes, your inner sight becomes sharper. Your imagination becomes more vivid. You begin to visit the place of your answered prayer more frequently. You sit in it, you taste it, you feel it, and with each visit it becomes more real than the world around you. This inner world is not fantasy. It is the origin. It is the mold from which reality is poured. Everything that now surrounds you was once imagined. And so, when you begin to dwell in the end, in the fulfillment of your desire, you are not escaping reality. You are shaping it. When something big is near, you will find your focus narrowing. Distractions fall away. Gossip no longer entices. Petty complaints no longer occupy your lips. You become single-eyed, as Scripture says, "If thine eye be single, thy whole body shall be full of light." This singleness is not blindness, it is clarity. It is the unwavering attention on that which you have accepted as already true. The world may say, be realistic, but you are no longer concerned with the consensus of the world. You are concerned with alignment, with dwelling in the state where your desire is already fact. You are not trying to get it, you are letting it be. You are not striving, you are surrendering to the truth of your fulfilled desire. And then, in moments of rest, you will feel a deep knowing. A calm settles over you. The old fears no longer haunt. The what-ifs no longer shake you. There is an ease, a grace, an unexplainable confidence. This is the clearest sign of all. Before the appearance of the thing, there is peace. A divine peace, a peace that says it is done. You may not yet know how it will come. You may not trace the steps or predict the path. But none of that concerns you anymore. You no longer need to know the how, because you know the who, and that who is within you. That who is God, the I Am, the one who speaks worlds into existence and calls those things that are not as though they are. So you walk through your days as one who already has. You give thanks not for what might come, but for what already is. You speak as one in possession. You think from the end, not toward it, and in doing so, you become the vessel through which the invisible becomes visible. When something big is about to happen, life becomes a mirror, and the reflections it shows you may seem contradictory. Old patterns may resurface, not to stay, but to be seen and released. Doubts may knock, not to overcome you, but to be answered with faith. These are not setbacks, they are confirmations. The appearance of the old is the sign that the new is near, for just before dawn, the night grows darkest, and just before fulfillment, the false self tries to reclaim its throne. But you do not give in. You stand in your new identity. You remember who you are. You will see small signs, synchronicities, numbers, names, symbols that mean something only to you. The world begins to whisper back to you in the language of alignment. These are not coincidences, they are echoes. Echoes of the state you have assumed. And as you continue, the feeling becomes more natural. You no longer need to force it. It becomes your dwelling place. You wake in it, you sleep in it, it becomes your home, and as within, so without. The world must reflect what you have accepted as true. There is no power outside of your own consciousness. God is not distant. God is not delayed. God is in the I am that you now claim, and when you claim the end, live from the end, and feel the end as present, then the promise is yours. When something big is on its way, you will feel as though you already have it. That is the miracle, not the object itself, but the transformation of self. For you no longer seek to change the world. You change the state from which you view it, and when the state changes, the world follows. You do not chase, you do not strive, you become. And as you become, the world reorders itself around your new assumption. So when you feel the peace, the confidence, the stillness, when you lose the appetite for striving and embrace the quiet knowing, when the dream no longer feels like a wish but a memory already lived, then know the thing is near, it is not coming. It has come, and the world is simply catching up. You may begin to notice how the old limitations start to fall away, not because they have been forcibly removed, but because you no longer give them life. They simply cannot exist in the state you now occupy. What once seemed like immovable obstacles now appear as paper walls, crumbling at the faintest touch of your new belief. When God is about to give you something big, your old identity becomes incompatible with the life you're stepping into. The shell must crack for the new life to emerge, and you find yourself no longer willing to speak the language of lack, of waiting, of hoping. You now speak from the center of fulfillment. People may call it delusion, but you know better. It is not arrogance, it is awareness. You are not trying to impress others or convince anyone of your worth. You simply dwell in the certainty of being. You are no longer playing the game of appearances. You live from the invisible realm, from cause, not effect. And in this state, all things are drawn to you, not by manipulation, not by effort, but by resonance. You begin to feel as if life is responding to your inner being before you've even spoken a word. Someone reaches out unexpectedly with an offer. An opportunity arises without any forced pursuit. Even delays become redirections that prove more valuable than your original plan. You start to realize that everything is working for you. Even what you once labeled as setbacks now serve a purpose. You are no longer disturbed by timing because you no longer measure life by the clock. You measure it by states, by the quality of consciousness you now occupy. The more deeply you live in the state of already having, the more you see the signs around you. The world becomes a reflection, a messenger, a stage that mirrors the drama you've already played out within. And as these reflections intensify, you no longer question whether it will come. You only deepen your relationship with it. You explore its details, its texture, its rhythm. You refine your assumption until it is no longer an effort, but a way of life. You will notice a growing detachment, not apathy, but a holy detachment. You stop needing the thing to prove your worth. You stop using it as a symbol of validation. It becomes part of you, not something outside of you. You no longer say, when it comes, I'll feel different. You feel different now, and because of that it comes, and then comes the test. Every great gift is preceded by a moment where you are tempted to return to the old self. It may come as fear or doubt or even a surprising challenge, but this is not a curse, it is confirmation. When God is about to give you something big, he tests your allegiance to the new identity. Will you return to the old because it is familiar, or will you stand firm in the unseen? You don't run from this test, you embrace it. You understand it is the refining fire that solidifies your claim. The pressure is not to destroy you, but to extract from you all that is false. You don't deny the fear, but you don't obey it either. You look at it and you say, this is not who I am, and in that moment you shift again. The new identity roots itself even deeper. The feeling of fulfillment becomes more stable, more effortless. It begins to take up permanent residence. You may not share this process with many, not because you are ashamed, but because it is sacred. It is too holy to be diluted by doubt or explained to those not ready to hear. The silence becomes your companion, and within it, the voice of God becomes clearer. You are not waiting for an answer, you are living it, and the beautiful thing is this: as you walk in this new state, others are lifted by your example, not because you preach to them, but because your being speaks louder than words. They sense something different. They may not know what changed, but they feel it. Your energy, your presence, your peace, it calls something higher out of them. You become the evidence that the unseen is real. This is the true gift, not the thing itself, but the transformation of self that precedes it. For once you have shifted, the thing is inevitable. It may come through a person, a job, a meeting, a seemingly random event. But none of that matters. The channel is not your concern, the state is, and once the state is sustained, the form must follow. This is why you no longer chase, no longer strive. You create, you assume. You rest, and in that rest you receive. This is the divine sequence. The world may not understand it, but the world does not need to. Your inner world knows, and that knowing is all that matters. You start to realize how much time you spent before in the illusion of waiting for the world to change, waiting for someone to choose you, waiting for a sign. But now you see that the sign is you. Your feeling, your belief, your inner conviction. These are the signs. When they align, the world has no choice but to reflect them. It's almost humorous, then, how the outer world once seemed so powerful. Now you see it for what it is, an echo, and the louder the voice within, the clearer the echo without. There is no need to fix the mirror. You adjust the image, and the mirror follows, so you live more deliberately. You guard your thoughts, not out of fear, but out of reverence. You understand that every thought has the potential to clothe itself in form. You no longer indulge in complaint, in worry, in comparison. You feed your mind with visions of fulfillment. You occupy yourself with the reality you desire, and you let the world respond in its own perfect time. And when it does, when the big thing finally appears in the material realm, you are not surprised. You do not fall to your knees in disbelief. You do not gasp in shock. You smile because you have already lived it. It is merely the world catching up to the vision you have faithfully held. And yet, even in the receiving, you are not clinging. For you know that the true source of your abundance is within. The thing is wonderful, yes, but it is not your God. It is a gift, not your identity, and so you enjoy it without worshipping it. You give thanks, not because it completes you, but because it reflects you. And then you begin again, not because you are unsatisfied, but because you are ever expanding. The process repeats itself, and each time it becomes more graceful, more natural. You begin to understand the rhythm of creation, the dance between thought and form, between belief and evidence. This is the secret God placed in you. the ability to bring forth what already exists in the invisible. You are not becoming something new. You are remembering what you already are, and in that remembrance the veil lifts and the world aligns. So when the signs appear, when the desire returns with peace, when the dream feels natural, when the doubt no longer controls you, know that something big is near. Know that the ground beneath your feet has shifted. Know that your world must change because you have changed, and above all, trust the feeling, not the fleeting emotion, but the deep, quiet knowing that rises unshaken within you. This is your compass. This is your guide. This is the voice of God saying, "It is done." You do not need to convince, to hustle, to earn. You need only be, and in being you allow. In allowing you receive, and in receiving you glorify the one presence, the one power, the one source from which all things flow. That source is not separate from you, it is you. It is your own wonderful human imagination, fused with the divine breath of I Am. And when you move in that awareness, you lack nothing. You wait for nothing. You beg for nothing, you become, and the world follows. You begin to carry yourself with stillness. The rush fades. The anxiety that once dictated your days no longer finds a home in you. You are not easily shaken. What once disturbed your peace now only deepens it. Because you have anchored your awareness in the end, in the fulfilled vision, in the kingdom that is not coming, but is already within you. And now, when people ask what's changed, you don't need to explain. You don't need to convince. Your life speaks. Your presence speaks. You radiate something that can't be taught in words. You are the proof that imagination creates reality. You are the evidence that faith is substance. You have learned to live from the unseen, not toward it, and in doing so you've unlocked the secret that so many seek outside themselves. You know the signs now. You feel them long before they appear. You recognize the inner alignment that always precedes the outer manifestation, and so you walk in gratitude, not for what may come, but for what already is. You see yourself as the vessel through which the unseen becomes seen, and you honor that role, not with pride but with awe, for you know now, when something big is coming, you will feel it first in your being, and from that being everything flows. You find yourself naturally turning inward more often, not out of withdrawal, but because you've discovered the true place where all power resides. External events no longer define you. You are defined by the state you occupy. It becomes your sanctuary, your stronghold, your foundation. When others panic, you remain still. When others doubt, you affirm. When others look around for evidence, you close your eyes and feel. You've learned that what you see with your inner eye is more real than anything your physical eyes can show you. Your conversations shift, not because you force them to, but because your vibration changes what you attract. The people around you begin to reflect your new state. You no longer bond over limitations. You speak from a place of possibility, of certainty, of divine imagination, and those who are ready are drawn to it. You don't have to persuade anyone. Your life becomes the sermon. Your presence becomes the revelation. It is not loud, not dramatic, but it is undeniable. You begin to move in rhythm with life. There's no longer a rush, no longer a need to grasp. You walk in the assurance that everything is arriving on schedule. The path opens as you go. The next step reveals itself not through anxiety, but through inspiration. You are guided by intuition, not obligation. You act when moved from within, not from fear of missing out. You begin to trust the pauses as much as the progress, because now you understand silence is part of the symphony. When others see lack, you see preparation. When others fear the unknown, you embrace it. When others pray for signs, you smile, knowing the sign has already been planted in your heart. And because you live from that planted seed, it must bloom. It cannot do otherwise, the law is sure. The word does not return void. The moment you assume the end, the process begins. And because you have not only assumed it, but remained there, you are now irresistible to the thing you desire. This is not magic. It is law, the law of consciousness, the law that says you become what you believe, you attract what you assume, you manifest what you are, and now that you know it, You will never again wonder where your power lies. It is in you, it always was, and now it is awake. So now you stand not as one who waits, but as one who knows. The signs have spoken, the feeling has arrived, the state has been claimed. When God is about to give you something big, he first transforms you, your mind, your expectation, your identity. The shift within is the sign, the confirmation, the true beginning. From here, nothing can be denied you, for you are aligned with the promise, merged with the fulfillment, and one with the source, and all that remains is the unfolding. If you would change your world, change the inner conversation that occupies your mind. Not tomorrow, not next week. Begin now. For just 3 days, talk to yourself as the person you have always longed to be. Let your words be seeds, and your imagination the fertile ground in which they grow. The world outside is nothing more than a mirror, faithfully reflecting the inner activity of your mind. What you see out there was first spoken in here. There is no accident, no chance, no external force shaping your reality. The law is simple, as within, so without. You are not at the mercy of circumstances, you are the cause, and the cause is always invisible, always internal. Thought made visible is what we call reality. Every word you speak to yourself, whether aloud or in silence, is a command to life. When you say, I can't, the universe bows to your decree. When you say, I am strong, life rises to meet your strength. There is no neutral thought. Each word is charged with power and proceeds out to fulfill itself. So why, then, would you spend another moment speaking weakness, failure, lack, or fear? Stop just for a moment and observe how you have been talking to yourself. Do your words lift you, or do they lower you? Do they agree with the highest vision of yourself, or do they betray it? You are not a beggar in this world. You are the one who gives the order. But most do not realize this, and so they beg when they should decree. They plead when they should command. For 3 days, become aware of your inner speech. Let no negative phrase cross the threshold of your mind unchecked. If it does, revise it instantly. If you catch yourself saying, nothing ever works out for me, stop. Replace it at once with, everything is always working in my favor. Speak it until you feel it. Speak it until it moves from your lips into your soul. Let your words become flesh. It is not repetition that causes change, but belief. Repetition helps you believe, and belief moves mountains. You are not seeking to hypnotize yourself with hollow affirmations. You are learning the sacred art of assuming the truth of your desire, and persisting in that assumption until the outer world reflects it back. Talk to yourself as the one who already is, not as one who is becoming, hoping, or trying, but as one who already possesses, already walks in the end you desire. Do not say, one day I'll be successful. That day never comes. Say instead, I am successful now. Feel it. See the world from that end. How does it feel to know that all you need is already yours? How would you walk? How would you carry yourself? What tone would your inner voice take? That tone is the key. Many mistake imagination for idle fantasy, but imagination is creation. What you dare to assume as true in imagination, if sustained, must be made manifest in the world. Talk to yourself as if you were already healed, already free, already loved, already rich, already wise. This is not self-deception. It is self-creation. You are not lying to yourself. You are liberating yourself from the illusion of limitation. Let the words of your inner monologue be filled with praise, with confidence, with gratitude. Say often, I am loved, I am chosen, I am guided, I am abundant, I am strong, I am favored, I am calm, I am a blessing. Speak these words not from a place of desperation, but from a place of inner knowing. You do not say them to make them true. You say them because they are true, eternally, unchangeably true, and your acceptance of them is the only door through which they can enter your experience. For 3 days, guard yourself. Talk as you would guard a treasure chest. When doubt knocks, do not answer. When fear whispers, turn away. When the old thoughts rise to tempt you with their familiar sadness, remind yourself that they are but ghosts of a past you no longer occupy. You are no longer that person. You have died to that version of self, and are born anew into the image of your fulfilled desire. Let the conversations within you be elevated. Refuse to curse your life with negative self-predictions. Say not, "It's going to be another hard day," but instead, "Today unfolds with grace and wonder." Say not, "No one sees me," but rather, "I am seen, I am valued, I am radiant with favor." Let every sentence become a prophecy, every word a declaration, every thought a seed. It is not enough to speak kindly once or twice. You must inhabit the identity that your new speech implies. Talking to yourself in this new way is not a mask you wear. It is the discovery of who you really are beneath the mask you've worn too long. Let go of every word that keeps you bound to the past. You are not your past. You are not your mistakes. You are not your failures. You are the dreamer and the dream, the speaker and the word. And just as the seed does not grow in one moment, your world will not instantly rearrange itself. But persist, let yourself talk remain steadfast, unwavering, even in the face of appearances. Appearances are shadows. They are echoes of former speech. The words you speak today will shape the form of your tomorrow. Speak as if it is already done, and it must come to pass. Try it for 3 days, only 3 days. Speak to yourself like one who has already arrived, like one who has already conquered, like one who is no longer waiting, but living the reality of their vision. Morning, noon, and night, whisper these truths. Let them saturate your mind, soak into your being, take root in your imagination. When a negative thought appears, revise it at once. Do not entertain it. Do not reason with it. Replace it. You have that power, I am. These are the most powerful words you will ever utter. What follows them is your destiny. Say, "I am healthy," and health begins to be summoned. Say, "I am wealthy," and wealth starts to move toward you. Say, "I am joyful," and the universe aligns itself to match your tone. But if you say, "I am tired, I am unlucky, I am not enough," then these too must appear. For the law makes no distinction between good or bad. It only hears the command and obeys. So be intentional. Speak with precision. Let yourself become the architect of your future. See your words as builders, each one laying a stone upon stone, constructing the house you will one day live in. If you don't like the house, change the blueprint. Change the internal dialogue. Talk to yourself like the one who has already won. Say it in the shower, say it in the mirror, say it on your walk, say it in your bed. Let your mind become a sanctuary of affirmative truth, and when the old patterns try to reassert themselves, and they will, do not condemn yourself. Simply return, redirect, revise, reaffirm. You are not fighting the old, you are replacing it with the new, and as you persist, the new must take hold. The world cannot help but conform to the image you consistently hold in your mind. People, opportunities, events, they are drawn to the frequency of your inner speech. Speak abundance, and abundance finds you. Speak peace, and peace comes to sit beside you. Speak love, and love answers the call. Your word is your wand, and your voice your greatest ally. For 3 days, become radically aware of your every internal word. Do not speak what you do not wish to see. Do not affirm what you do not desire. Speak only what you want multiplied in your world, and do it joyfully. There is no strain in creation. The flower does not strain to bloom. The sun does not struggle to rise. Your new reality does not come by force, but by faithful agreement with the truth you dare to speak within. Even now your life is turning. Even now unseen shifts are being made. Speak them into being. Do not wait for the evidence to believe. Believe, and the evidence will come. For just 3 days, walk in this new speech. Let it be your experiment. Watch what begins to unfold. The difference between the life you desire and the life you have lived until now is but one internal conversation away. Change that conversation, and everything changes. You do not need to convince the world, only yourself. When you talk to yourself differently, the world will answer accordingly. You have lived too long beneath your inheritance. Now rise, now speak, now declare. For the words you choose are the life you live. And as you begin to carry yourself differently in thought, the entire rhythm of your life begins to shift. For 3 days, you are to speak only the words of the one who has arrived. No longer hoping, no longer begging, no longer doubting, but assuming, declaring, knowing. Let the inner voice echo only victory, only peace, only fulfillment. As you walk through your home, speak as though the very walls listen. As you look in the mirror, speak to the image not as it appears, but as it shall be. Talk to yourself like the one who has already won. You may find resistance. The old mind will rise, whispering doubts, reminding you of the facts, pointing to the evidence that contradicts your new self-talk. Let it rise and let it pass. Do not wrestle with it. Simply speak the new truth again. You do not fight darkness. You introduce light. You do not argue with fear. You affirm love. The shadows only seem powerful when you forget the light within you. You are not the voice of limitation you've entertained for so long. That voice was never yours. It was given to you by a fearful world, by others who did not know who they were. But you now return to your original voice, the voice of creation, the voice that spoke the worlds into existence, the voice that lives in you. Speak as that voice. For 3 days become that voice. Refuse to entertain the false. Refuse to echo fear. Refuse to affirm what dishonors the divine image within you. Say to yourself often, I am chosen, I am free, I am secure, I am rising, I am fulfilling my purpose. Let these words form the foundation of your new world. Let them become your internal music. Do not wait for someone else to speak over your life. Speak over your own life. Bless yourself. Encourage yourself. Uplift yourself. When the world is silent, let your own voice be the sound of triumph. And it will feel strange at first. Your nervous system, conditioned to the negative, will rebel. The body may feel the tension of change, but persist. You are not here to feel comfort. You are here to feel truth. And the truth is this: you are more powerful than you know. And the way you reclaim that power is by deciding what you say to yourself about yourself and refusing to say otherwise. Each time you repeat the truth, you build a new path in the mind. And soon that path becomes the default. The lie becomes foreign. The fear becomes silent. And the truth becomes the song you live by. But you must persist beyond the first day, the second deus, especially the third. For it is often just before the new dawn that the night feels darkest. That is not failure. That is the breaking of the shell. You are not pretending when you speak of the life you desire. You are prophesying. The words you speak are not empty. They are containers holding the form of what shall be. They go before you. They arrange. They attract. They open doors you could not have imagined. The one who speaks with faith walks with favor. Talk to yourself like one who cannot be denied. Let your tone be firm, not desperate. Let it carry the conviction of someone who has seen the end and knows it must be. Say, I always attract the right opportunities. I walk in peace and power. I am deeply loved, and I give love freely. Everything I need is already within me. Then pause and feel the truth of what you've said. Breathe it in. Let the body adjust. Let the energy align. Do not underestimate the power of these 3 days. For in 3 days of consistent, elevated speech, you begin to rewire years of unconscious limitation. You interrupt the old script and begin to write a new one. Your mind listens to you, your body listens, your life listens, the universe listens, and they all move in harmony with the words you habitually speak to yourself. Even when the outer world has not yet shifted, the inner shift has already begun, and that is the true miracle. For when you see the world differently from within, The world has no choice but to conform. This is the sacred secret. Nothing changes outside until it changes inside, and the instrument of inner change is speech, intentional, bold, unwavering speech. Say, I am in the right place at the right time. Say, I trust the process of life. Say, I always land on my feet. Say, even in silence I am supported. Say, what I desire is already mine. Not to impress others, but to instruct your mind. Not to sound spiritual, but to become aligned. You are the shepherd of your thoughts. You guide them, direct them, decide where they go, and you'll find that after 3 days, something subtle begins to shift. The air feels lighter, the mind feels clearer, doors begin to creak open, people respond to you differently, but most of all, you respond to you differently. You no longer speak like a victim, you no longer narrate from lack, you speak with the authority of the fulfilled self, and that self creates. Let this self become your daily bread. Feed on it when you rise, feed on it before sleep, feed on it in moments of doubt, and never speak what you do not want multiplied. If you do slip, and you mace, simply correct it, do not judge, do not condemn. Say, that is not my truth any more, and replace it. Speak the revision, speak the higher word, speak the destiny, not the dilemma. You are not trying to escape life. You are shaping it, and the raw material is your word. When you understand this, you will never again be careless with your self-talk. You'll realize the difference between the idle complaint and the sacred declaration, and you will choose the latter again and again. Say to yourself what you would want the entire world to declare about you. Speak to yourself as your greatest admirer would. Be your own prophet, your own healer, your own motivator. You've been your own critic long enough. Now become your encourager. No more phrases like I'm not good enough. I always mess things up. No one cares about me. Banish them, burn them, and replace them with words that restore your soul. Say, I am deeply worthy. I always rise stronger. I am surrounded by people who celebrate me. I bring light wherever I go. The best is not behind me, it is ahead of me, and feel the atmosphere change. Even if no one else believes in you, your belief is enough. Even if the current evidence says otherwise, your inner assumption will overturn it. This is not mere psychology, this is law, this is spirit. This is reality at its most essential level. Everything visible begins with the invisible. The thoughts and words you repeat become the images you see, the emotions you feel, and the circumstances you meet. So guard your inner chamber, guard it like a sacred garden. Let no weeds of fear or doubt take root. Pull them quickly, replace them with flowers of truth, water them with repetition, sunlight them with emotion. And soon the fragrance of your inner speech will fill your outer world. You do not need to control how it will happen. That is not your domain. Your only task is to persist in the truth of your new self-talk, to speak only what you want to see grow, to affirm only what honors your highest calling. Do this, and life begins to conspire in your favor. You may find people mirroring your new tone. You may hear your own words spoken back to you by strangers. You may see synchronicities aligning with the new assumptions you carry. These are not accidents. They are reflections. They are confirmations that your word has gone forth, and it shall not return void. Every word you speak to yourself is a seed. Some grow instantly, others take time, but all will bear fruit according to their kind. So speak with intention, speak with faith, speak as if your very life depends on it, because it does. Say often, I am aligned with my destiny. I hear the voice of truth within. My path is blessed. I expect miracles. Say it not as a wish, but as a fact, and let the repetition sink deep, not from force, but from joy, not from striving, but from knowing. Even when nothing appears to change, trust the process. You are planting invisible seeds. The roots grow first, then the shoot. The change begins beneath the surface. And if you persist, the evidence must emerge. This is not superstition, this is law. So for these 3 days, talk to yourself like the one who has arrived. Let the old voices fall silent. Let the fearful words lose their hold. Let the doubt be replaced by destiny. Let the criticism be replaced by compassion. Let the stories of failure give way to the story of fulfillment. And if you falter, rise again. If you forget, remember. If you slip, reset. Your transformation is not in perfection. It is in persistence. Every word counts. Every moment counts. Your world waits to follow the voice within you. Do not seek the approval of others to validate your inner speech. They were not given your vision, and they do not walk your path. Speak to yourself like one who has heard a higher calling, like one who has seen the end from the beginning. You were not designed to conform to the fears of the crowd. You were made to walk in the truth that stirs within you, even if no one else can see it yet. Let your words be sacred to you. Let them form a shield around your heart. When others speak doubt, let your inner voice respond with faith. When the world seems chaotic, let your own self-talk be a sanctuary of peace. 3 days of faithful speech can do what years of worry could never accomplish. You are retraining the currents of energy that flow through your being. You are no longer allowing your thoughts to wander like sheep without a shepherd. You are leading them, guiding them, placing them in postures of peace and expectation. When your inner dialogue changes, you'll notice that your reactions change too. Things that once disturbed you will pass like clouds in the sky. You are no longer tossed about. You are rooted in your new identity. Even in silence, your new words echo within. They shape your posture, your tone, your gaze. You begin to carry yourself as the one who has already received, not as one still waiting. And this is the secret. Your world responds not to what you wish, but to what you are. And what you are is revealed by what you say to yourself in the stillness. Your assumptions are prayers. Your internal dialogue is a script the universe follows. When fear tries to rise, say to yourself, "That is not mine anymore." When doubt taps your shoulder, say, "I've chosen a higher truth." When the memory of past failure appears, respond, "That was then. I am new now." Speak gently, but with finality. Let your word be law in your world. For 3 days, hold this posture. For 3 days, honor your soul with sacred speech. And in doing so, you will begin to awaken something long asleep. The power that has waited patiently to be reclaimed by the one who dares to believe. So now the invitation is simple, but powerful. Continue. Continue beyond the 3 days, and let this become your way of life. Let the words you speak to yourself become your sanctuary, your foundation, your creative force. Speak as one who knows the end is assured. Speak as one who walks with purpose and not with fear. Speak as one who understands that the world within shapes the world without. For when your inner speech is elevated, your life cannot help but rise to match it. The words you repeat become the world you live in. So keep speaking life. Keep declaring truth. Keep choosing faith over fear. And watch as everything begins to respond to the voice you finally decided to believe, your own.